Okay, so we're going to talk about average rate of change. Because these quadratics are U-shaped, they don't have a constant rate of change like the linear functions that we did earlier in the year. So we have to find what's called the average rate of change, okay? I'm going to show you how to do this from the graph in this lesson. Hopefully it's short and sweet. And then I'm going to show you tomorrow how to find the average rate of change using a table or an equation, okay? Essentially, it's the same exact thing. If you remember from the beginning of the year, rate of change was the change in y over change in x, okay? Average rate of change is still also the change in y over change in x, but it's the average because it's not a perfectly straight line. And I showed some of you that in Desmos the other day when we did our class meet. So I'm going to find the rate of change between the vertex point and this high point here that I have. So if I draw the line connecting those two, it's called a secant line. You don't need to know that. Khan, if you watched the video before this, calls it a secant line. It's just the line that intersects my purple graph, okay? I'm going to find the rate of change between these 2 points. Hopefully you know that this is increasing, okay? So from 0 to 2, this graph is increasing, okay? So this first point, I'm going to start by labeling my points. This first point is 0, 0, right? And then this point up here is 2, 4. So I need to find the change in y over the change in x. Well, this is essentially going to turn into a table anyway. If I make my table to do my rate of change, right? This is from last year if you're in my 9th grade class, or this year if you're in my 8th grade class. My first point is 0, 0, and my second point is 2, 4. I can find the rate of change here. The change in y is 4. From 0 to 4, I increased 4 units. To go from 0 to 2, I increased 2 units. Therefore, my average rate of change between these 2 points on my purple graph, average rate of change, is 4 over 2, or just 2, okay? My average rate of change between those 2 points is 2. I'll show you again on the other side. Let's do this point -1, 1, and this point here, -2, 4. Okay? If I find my average rate of change, so I'll try to separate it as best as I can. Okay? If I find my average rate of change, I'll set up my table, x, y. My first point, I could say, is -2. It really doesn't matter the order. -2, 4, and -1, 1. Find your rate of change between those values. So how much did I have to decrease to go from 4 to 1? -3. How much did I increase to go from -2 to 1? -1 is an increase of 1. So my average rate of change here is -3, change in y, over 1, change in x. -3 over 1. Which one is steeper, right? Which section, sorry, Connor is playing his video games right now. Which section, say hello.
Say hello.
Is steeper? That's going to be dependent on the number. So this is a -3, which just means it's increasing, but 3 is steeper than 2. So this rate of change here is steeper than that larger rate of change right there. Okay? We'll look at tables and equations tomorrow. Have a good night, guys.